Welcome to another episode of Rise, Grind, Repeat. I'm Dustin Trout, and today we talked to Austin Denworth. Met him at a former agency, and we both kind of went out and started doing our own thing. So really just get into what type of services he's going to be offering, kind of what differentiates him from everyone else, and really just getting to know another agency in the local Arizona area. And so good conversation. Both kind of go over our game plans on how we're going to grow. And so lots of good tidbits on our overall game plan, some things that we're going to bring to the market here in 2019. So appreciate tuning in.
I feel like Arizona is just kind of like ripe for the picking. Not a lot of digital marketing agencies out here that can really do it right. That can do both SEO, SEM, web design, like everything. Just getting the real full package, or at least they claim to be.
Yeah, no, it seems like there's a lot of agencies out there that will do it, but in terms of like the behind the scenes and connecting all the dots and integrating it all together, I think there's still a huge opportunity in doing it a bit better. So what all started, like now that, I mean, we had the conversation when you were still working with Reister, like what, and it was kind of going to be doing SEM, SEO, but now that you're kind of, the fire's lit under you and you got to go, what all like services are you guys going to be offering, or?
Yeah, no, we're pretty much doing everything. Got a whole team of freelancers and everything. Obviously, I can't put them on my payroll right now. I'm like, sorry guys, I don't offer dental, but so I got
It's expensive once you do that.
Oh yeah, So yeah, no, I got a team of freelancers, also personal friends, and even including my brother. Right now, he's like the director of marketing over at Canterbury, so the rugby company who does all the jerseys and everything globally.
Nice. So are you going to be doing video production and all that too, or?
Yep.
Or nice.
Video production, photography, e-commerce. We're going to do web design because before I did a lot of the SEM work, I was doing websites on the side for people, so I build them out too. UX, UI design, mobile apps. I actually launched a couple of apps on my own back in college doing some competitions. One was called Dibs, formerly Remigo, but then that name was having like an issue with another guy out in like Minnesota who's never going to do anything with it. I'm just like, just give me the name. Wouldn't do it, so I call it Dibs. It was like a roommate finder app. Basically connected you almost like Tinder swiping and matched you just based on really simple qualifications. Roommate finder.
Gotcha. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Are you still running with it? Are you still doing stuff with it?
It's kind of the back burner for now just because I ran out of funding.
Gotcha.
So just trying to get past the first version, which is only beta.
No, that's cool to do. Other people get to, I guess, rate. Like, basically, you put a profile on there, and then if you guys live together, you guys can kind of rate each other, and then as life goes on, people have profiles, or?
Nothing like that. I didn't want anybody to be able to rate each other. That's just a rabbit hole you don't want to go down. Like lawsuits, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like, Jimmy said I was a terrible woman. No, I didn't want to do that. Deal with that.
Stick with stars, no written stuff.
No stars on nothing. It just gave you like however many matches you can within a specified area. So it was mostly for colleges where I was launching first. So within like a 100-mile radius of that college, everybody's looking for a place to live. So you just based on simple criteria like where you want to live, what's your budget, male, female, and type of personality, and like not a whole lot of questions. It's almost like a simple 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
And then you can pick through your matches almost like Tinder. You just swipe.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
They look weird.
Yeah, because I mean, yeah, no, that's sweet because I mean you're putting people together that have a price point in which they have to stay within, so that makes it quicker. And people that are looking for roommates, and then do people have the opportunity to fill out like a description about yourself, like, "Hi, I'm Gary, and I love water sports," like. So that whenever people are swiping, they can get an idea of the types of things that people are into.
Right, and also like if you tap on it, it'll show all their information. But most of it was automatic, just pulled from their Facebook profile because that's what you logged in with. So it just kind of automatically generated, who you are.
And that's even better because it prevents people from filling out fake profiles. I mean, the whole point is to try and get you with a roommate that is in line with what you like doing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
By tying to Facebook, you can't fake it.
You can fake it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Those are the other problems. Like fake profile is always an issue with like any of those apps. You know,
Yeah.
just bots and stuff. But
Yeah, because I'd assume that you could make filters to where like to join you have to have at least 500 friends or something, or be able you post X amount of times a week, or basically trying to put filters in to determine, hey, you look like a bot, you can't join. I'm sure there's a way to do that.
definitely just never got that far.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are I guess from a service standpoint, what are some services that you would foresee maybe needing help with? Because like I'm all for working together, and it's like if you can do this really well but you need help with this, like if you can do the photography but need video or whatever it may be, is there anything that
Yeah, definitely. I know something I like is podcasting. Never done this before, so I don't even know what to say. But I mean, like I know PPC, huge deal. Like we work together, all of us, on that. We know how important it is and how people are still so clueless about it. There's still a lot of opportunity there. Also, search engine optimization, just being able to rank organically. Also, rank number 1 in paid to be able to really merge the two in order to really just dominate the first page of Google. It's ultimately what everybody wants. Web design is also really important. Page speed is something I really pitch to people.
Yeah.
Everybody, at least any reputable business by now, should have a website. If they don't, great, I'll build you one for like pretty good amount of money to get you started.
Yeah.
Or otherwise, I win a lot of business by just making it faster on mobile.
The page speed, especially if you have their analytics. I mean, it's hey, you're loading at 7 seconds and running the numbers on what Google sees the drop in conversion rate for every second. It's like you're missing, like, once you show how much opportunity they're missing, then it kind of makes that sale pretty easy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be nice to have $20,000 more in revenue a month by doing this? Cool, here's a price of 10 grand, 15 grand.
If you show someone, like, it's taking 7 seconds, like, yeah, it's 7 seconds, it's nothing. But if you, like, all right, this is 7 seconds.
That's actually good, because you'll talk to people and it's like 7 seconds doesn't seem like that much, but it's like, because it's only 7 seconds, but once you're like, okay, let's do a timer. Let's go on your phone, and would you wait this long if
No, I just challenge them, like, hey, go buy a few products on your own website. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, it's amazing how people don't do like QAing or anything like that, where it's like, oh, I didn't even know that you can't check out. Like, I'm not getting sales. Oh, well, you keep getting an error every time you try and enter in your credit card information or something. It's amazing how people don't know how their own house is built, pretty much.
Right, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this only worked one time for me to actually get a call back for business. But anytime, like, I see an error on somebody's website, I'm using, like, I'm actually buying something, checking out, or whatever. I remember it wasn't Bass Pro, but it was like a competitor.
Cabela's or something like that.
I think I don't know. It was a smaller one.
REI.
Yeah, I think it was like Sportsman something. I don't know. I can't remember because I ended up getting the business.
Yeah.
But interested enough to give me a call back. But I saw an error on their page and I filled out their little support thing or whatever.
Really?
I'm like, hey, just so you know, like, this is broken, this sucks, I can't check out. You know, here's my name, number, this is what I do. You know, give me a call if you want this fixed.
That's smart. I mean, we were talking about it a little bit, like that native advertising platform that we found, the Stack Adapt, and then LinkedIn. I want to test, like, literally going out and doing stuff like that, where it's like, as we're out doing things in the day-to-day and find, like, hey, I did this search for horrible products and you came up, like, you're spending money, like, literally take screenshots and stuff like that. But with Stack Adapt and a few other platforms, you can target companies specifically. So it'd be great to take those errors and then literally use that as creative and target that company and employ, like, did you know you're showing up for this? And literally pay to show people what they're doing maybe incorrectly or what opportunity they can be doing better. But that's one thing I'm going to try and do. I mean, we're working to try and get search launched by the end of the week, and then it's going to be continuing to build upon what we're doing, but getting the foundation of search going, and then cooler things like that and how we can actually execute and communicate on that. But
shame them into business.
Yeah, I mean, well, once you can show, I mean, it goes back to sales. Everyone's been in sales.
Anyone online can see this. We're just showing you.
Yeah. I mean, it goes back to sales. The number one thing is sales.
We're your only true friend here. Like, we're telling you like it is.
Exactly. You got something on your face.
Yeah, he's a spinner's been hanging there for 5 years now.
And then you can position it as, look at how we targeted you. Imagine how we can do for your business. I mean, if we can target you and spend money to show your own mistake, think what we can do to highlight your own products. But it goes back into like sales. Everyone's done sales here, where once you show the pain point, it's easier to get to that sale because you're showing them the value of the opportunity that you can bring. So to me, it'd probably go a lot further than just saying, we're an agent, like marketing agency. Like people don't know they need you until you show them that they need you.
Right, you got to create a need. It goes back to the whole Wolf of Wall Street thing. I'm gonna steal this from him. It's like, sell me this pen. It's a whole supply and demand. So you don't know that they need that pen until he asks the question like, hey, write down your name for me. He's like, well, I don't have a pen. Well, here you go. I'll sell it to you for $1.
Yep.
So
yep. Once you can bring value, and then the rest, it sets up the conversation to then show or highlight what else you do. But no, I think that's super smart, and taking real life applications and, hey, this is what you're doing wrong, and because that's the quickest way to get someone on the phone and show them how they're losing money, and that's.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, it's amazing. Once you type to someone's bottom line, same with not getting someone on the phone, but even like testing things. Like once you're running with a client and start testing a few things and show the data and the ROI and like how much we're impacting your bottom line, it's amazing how much more you can get done in terms of testing and how they'll actually respond and get on the phone, and it's all in the data. Once you can show how you're impacting someone's bottom line.
Oh yeah, it's always amazing too. Like how many business owners don't even know what their ROI is, their bottom line, their total costs, or like their close rate, anything. Like just going through these basic like business metrics with them and just getting that data, and us we're able to track it to get a return on their investment through like Google Ads or analytics or whatever else we're doing for them. Like they need to know like what is your customer lifetime value?
Yeah.
What's your close rate? Like if you're only closing 10% of the business I'm bringing you. Things you won't expect, yeah.
Even before that, like, how do you get your customers? Like, we put an ad out somewhere.
Yeah, it was like a billboard, like, over there.
Yeah, those things are expensive, too.
Oh, yeah.
But to your point, I think that there's more of an opportunity on the analytics and measurement side than there is on the actual let us run your Facebook. So I think more and more people are figuring it. It's not super hard to run them, but it's time intensive if you do it correctly, but it's getting easier and easier, especially as like Google, what are you trying to do? I'm trying to get website visit, and like run you through the setup so that you can set it up. But I think more and more people are now driving traffic. It's now, what is the traffic doing and how is it translating into sales? And I think that the tracking to the bottom line or the revenue is where there's so much opportunity, because it's more and more people are just spending money digitally, but then it's hear more and more of the question of like, what's it doing?
Everybody knows they need it. Not everybody knows, what's doing for them. So
right, everybody don't want to go through it.
Exactly.
Setting it up. It's a lot.
Even I don't want to go through it sometimes. I'm just like there's like mountains and mountains of data.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, it's even just connecting all the different data sources together. It takes time on your end to even set it up, but even more so on the business owner side to like, I need this login, I need these credentials. Most of the time they don't even know where those are, and let alone have the time to even dig them up. And it's like, it's even just, getting the okay, let's do it is only like 10% of the battle. The rest is actually executing and getting it done.
Yeah, no kidding. Executing, setting the right expectations. Obviously, in the beginning is the best way to avoid a lot of those shortcomings. But like you said earlier, like the importance of the data and being able to show them exactly like what they're getting out of it. Even taking it a step further, it's just making sure that they have good data in the first place, because a lot of people are operating off of bad data. I want you to take over something that another agency ran. I'm like, well, it didn't work the last 5 times. I don't think it's going to work this time. So I like to usually start from scratch. It's typically what I do.
Yep. Yeah. No, it's funny because it's my brother-in-law. He just moved here, and we're kind of going through that. He's learning the Facebook platform and Google and all that, and it's like he was trying to look at what someone else did, and he goes, it seems like it'd be easier just to start from scratch. I'm like, yeah, sometimes it's, one, you're trying to figure out what the setup is even like, but then it's like, more so you have to try and figure out what the person was thinking and what they were trying to achieve. So it's just like, why not just start from scratch?
Yeah, no, honestly, it's not like you're losing any more money.
Yeah,
You're losing money
yeah.
by keeping it going.
Yeah, exactly. But there's always that pushback of like the historical data and all that, and it's
Yeah, but then my pushback's like, but it's bad historical data.
I mean, for
So
example,
it's historically bad. History will repeat itself.
exactly. Yeah, history repeats itself. Talking about the bad data, I mean, how many accounts have you worked on in the last couple months where conversion rate looks awesome, but once you go to
Conversions.
the URL in which that conversion pixel is firing, it's like on the home page, and it's like, oh, your conversion rate is 50%, but it's because everyone that gets to your home page is considered a conversion.
Or it's
bad
something
data.
automatic set up by like analytics or something. So
Actually, what was the one that we went through? It was the Shopify one where it looked like there was all this revenue being driven, but it's because someone was checking in on their, like, if you purchase on Shopify, and then go to the confirmation to check your order, if you leave and come back, the tag fires again. So now when you're checking your order, the revenue is there. So all of a sudden it looks like you have like $1,000 in revenue on a $20 product because they came back like 100 times.
Yeah, I was like, why did they just set the tag on the complete confirmation like after
it's
his
crazy
purchase?
to me that it's Shopify that has that. Like,
But Shopify almost like doesn't allow it. Like you can't manipulate the URLs or something. Like we tried to figure out a workaround, but I can't remember what it was, but literally like Shopify doesn't allow for like a different URL or.
Because I mean, I know I've done this once before where I just place the on the button click on the final purchase where it's like complete order, you know, that way I know. But of course, you do run the risk of a glitch or something multiple pushing it. But I feel like that might be a little more accurate, especially like if you can't get to the final page. But I use a lot of WooCommerce too.
How do you like that? Because everything that we've done with Shopify so far.
I love Shopify. I mean, it makes it so much easier on our end.
Yeah.
Because WooCommerce, you have to like actually set it up and everything, even though they do have like carts and everything for you. Like our system's already in place, like a template. But the problem is like you still have to they have to still go and get a like an inventory tracking software in order to be able to like really see what's being sold and whatnot and be able to keep track.
But that's even done on WordPress, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, kind of, sort of.
Gotcha. What other? I guess it can probably go on any CMS then, right?
Yeah, because WooCommerce is free. That's the reason why a lot of my clients like it. But I'm like, you know, you may have to pay for other stuff down the road. Like, I mean, Shopify, they charge a pretty good amount of money. The only difference I see with them is like the analytics, the insights, everything's right there on one page. Like tracking all the inventory, like what you have. They do a really good job of that, keeping it organized. But I mean, I guess that's what you're paying for.
Yeah. The convenience. I mean, time is money. So if you can spend X amount less time a month trying to organize all that pays for, you know, the subscription. Right.
Yeah, if you can find ways to like kind of use WooCommerce, and then I also like will build like a custom checkout. That way they don't have to use PayPal or anything like that. I just put in credit card information. That way they get, you know, 100% of the profit. Rather than having to give percentage, because Shopify now also charges a percentage of your sales.
Oh, really?
On top of the monthly subscription that you're paying.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently.
Is that new?
I think so. Like I heard it like a month ago.
Really?
I'm not surprised.
Well, especially, I mean, e-commerce is just getting bigger and bigger. I mean, even whenever you look at those fees and everything like that, I mean, you could compare it to having a storage facility and having to store everything, like, basically having a storefront that's a lot more expensive than the, $20, $30, $40 a month, and
right.
I think that's what it is, $30, $40 a month for Shopify.
Yeah, everything's moving online. I mean, soon we won't need humans to do a lot of stuff. I mean, I think they should bring back the drone delivery idea. I like that.
I did too. You could be a flight person.
Drone pilot.
Yeah, you just got a drone. We've been using it a little bit, but yeah.
Oh no, my brother's obsessed with his drone. He got the whole what's it called, the Maverick DB something. DJI, yeah.
Yeah.
He loves that thing. We do have some great shots. We're trying to do like a promo video for ourselves right now too to put on the website. It's kind of like a parallax in the background.
Nice. Yeah, that's literally what we're finishing up on right now is kind of like just a sales video of like, this is who we are, what we do type thing.
Yeah.
Using that, been having fun with the drone. It's cool. It does this one like scene thing where you have it in front of, like, so basically we use it to where we were standing and then it had it in front of us and then it flies up and backwards and then scans and does a 360. And what it does is the scene, it looks like you're all there and then it goes up into the sky, but then it forms like a sphere and it looks like the world. So it's like you're all just standing there and then it goes out and then forms a world. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
Pretty cool. You can use it for something creative.
Oh yeah, it was actually really fun. A couple good stories of using the drone because my brother smuggled it into London when we went over there.
Yeah, nice.
And we flew it over Buckingham Palace, and then we got in trouble with the,
whatever their police are there. The
constables, and I know they have a nickname for them. I can't remember now, the Patty Sir or something.
Is London the one where they had the big hats?
He didn't have a hat though. I was really disappointed.
The one where they, or is that Canada?
No. Yeah, you're thinking of like the Queen's Guard, yeah.
Yeah, where you can do whatever and then just stand there.
Oh yeah, no, I saw no.
I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but
you can try, man. But
Justin is a London.
yeah, they yell back at you now. I saw him yell at some little kid and everything.
Really?
It was great.
So I thought they couldn't say or do anything. I thought they just had to stand there.
No, because the kid was sitting on the railing.
That's the rumor they put out. So that when someone tries some shit, they just go at you.
Here's a bayonet.
Exactly. Just a little check.
Dumb American.
Yeah, no, we kept filming it too. You know, the cop came up and everything. So I'm just sitting there like, filming it.
It's not ours. I'm playing with that car, so I don't know where it went.
That's what he was
We
doing.
just played like the dumb American card. Like, oh, we didn't know we couldn't do that.
And that is why every country hates America.
Pretty much.
He just got
of
back
us.
from the Philippines and was doing that, flying it, and
Oh,
they were
nice.
basically yelling at him.
Yeah, we took it through.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, really? Oh, people loved it. Like, we took it to the eye and everything when people were in the Ferris wheel.
Yeah.
And we went right up to them in the Ferris wheel and they were like waving at it. We're watching people on it. They were
funny.
loving
Yeah,
it.
that's dope.
Always
That's
had a
great.
crowd. We just realized we had to do it like miles off from like where anybody can like
Yeah.
detain us.
That's the key, is just finding a hiding spot that they can't see.
Best place though was definitely Ireland. Going
Yeah.
through the castles and everything because some are blocked off. Can't really get to them, but you can fly to them.
Yeah, that's dope.
Yeah, nobody's out there. Nobody cares. So.
Dude, you get espionage, you'll never be able to come home.
I'm probably already flagged. They're just,
So is there any particular service that you're trying to push more than the others? Like, I mean, you obviously have a ton of experience on the paid side of things. Do you do a lot of Facebook ads as well, or is it just primarily the Google?
Yeah, no, I do a lot of Facebook ads, Instagram too, and everything. I use my brother a lot to create like the really cool 3D images and
What does he do?
all the stuff. So he does all the graphic design work, video production, motion graphics, like all that good stuff.
All the creative stuff.
Yeah, because originally that's how he started out, and then you end up becoming like the director, the marketing and stuff, just because.
Now a decision maker instead of the.
Yeah, now he's wearing like 5 hats and everything, doing all of it because they're a little understaffed.
Running lean.
I'm like, do they pay any more? Oh, not much more? Oh, okay. I'm like, how would you partner with me and let's go make some real money?
Nice. Are you guys doing anything from a marketing standpoint? You guys launching anything, or is it a lot of ground and pound and just...
A lot of it's just, word of mouth right now, just keeping busy because we're still like trying to complete the website and get everything going.
It's a fun process.
Yeah, it's never done, but I mean, just enough to get a launch out there. I'm trying to use that as like a staple to selling other people website and design, just because like if you look at our website, it's gonna be really fast, function really well. It's gonna be seamless and beautiful. So I'm just trying to use that as an example. Be like, hey, look at our site. We can build you this or something better.
Yeah. Then it's easier to sell a site whenever you have something to show someone. It's tough to, hey, buy these pair of shoes for me, but I don't even own a pair of shoes type thing. Like, yeah, it just...
Right. And how many times have we like pitch clients or, business owners be like, hey, your website's your online salesman.
Right.
You go to the website and it looks terrible. Everybody's gonna think you're gonna sell their card information to Russia. Like, I'm not gonna buy from you.
That's another thing that it's like, you have all these cool ways to target and drive relevant traffic, but there's so little focus on the website side of things that it's like, dude, like literally it's your a 24/7 customer service, sales, everything. Like it's amazing how many people don't put a focus on it when it's obviously everyone can probably agree that more and more people are leaning more towards technology and all that. Plus it's, I mean, we've done a podcast on it, but like all the different pixels that you can place, you can literally, once you drive them to your website, you can follow them around wherever they go in the world with all the different pixels and retargeting and all that, and it's like, now you have a way to communicate with them at any given time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's really funny. I like to take other people's examples too and stuff, like who are doing marketing even for me. Like, I was just looking up competitions yesterday, you know, other agencies and things like that, like Google Ads specialists, things like kind of seeing what they're trying to offer.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I went to the guy's website, I clicked on his ad because I'm a dick and I wanted to cost some money. The competition, whatever. Doggy dog world. It was actually by accident.
Google will eventually pick it up and give them credit back if you do too much.
Hopefully, yeah, sure, they'll pick it up. I don't know if you can hear my air quotes like through the microphone. No, but yeah, Google will charge you if they can, unless you like bring it up to them. But no, it's funny. As soon as I went to his website and everything got bounced off, I'm like, it was just a really one-page thing that was built just for mobile. So even though it was on a desktop, the whole thing was just one long strip.
Oh, really? So even on a desktop, it was just a.
Yeah,
that's so literally thinking mobile first, mobile only.
Yeah, mobile only, like literally that was it. But yeah,
how many different agencies did you find? Are you looking just in Arizona or like the Southwest region or this part of the the left part of the United States, or national?
Mostly California right now, New York, and looking at the bigger agencies and kind of what they're doing. I'm trying to really position like our agency as going for, you know, bigger business stuff, being able to like do everything, kind of be full service, and then really try to compete at that level, because I know at least digitally, maybe not traditionally, but digitally, we definitely have the upper hand. Because working for a lot of these big agencies and everything, I know what they're lacking, and I know what we do really well in, and it's definitely something that we can capitalize on with a lot of these big companies. I'm like, yeah, you can keep your other agency, you know, keep letting them do your postcards or whatever, I know what you're doing. You know, your door hangers and stuff and everything, but let me handle all your digital.
Yeah, I mean, it's with everything going to digital, it's all the big agencies, the big companies are going to work with the big agencies, the ones that have been around for a while, and the ones that are been around for a while are typically stuck on the traditional. And I don't know if it's more just because that's where margins are. It takes more work to make less money digitally, but I think you can create a performance-based model to where you can circumvent those margins. But I think, I don't know. It seems like all the big agencies, I mean, I've worked at a few, and it seems like just the big agencies that are working with the big companies are stuck in that traditional mentality.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to go digital. Mm-hmm. You know, by like hiring people like you and me and everything, but usually have a really hard time adapting. So kind of like taking it from like Darwinism. Mm-hmm. Might be wrong on this, but yeah, don't Google it. Don't fact check me. Just let me make it up. Yeah, but it's not the the strongest who survive is not necessarily like physically the strongest, but it's the one who's most adaptable to change. Mm-hmm. So I always preach this with all my clients, everybody I talk to. I'm like, you have to have the ability to change and change quickly, because the entire digital space is moving so fast. Mm-hmm. Technology is moving like crazy. Businesses are popping up all over the place. Everybody's inspired. Thanks to like Steve Jobs. Everybody's an entrepreneur now.
Yep. Oh yeah, for sure. And with that, I mean, with things that change so quickly like that, I mean, every single day, it then takes a lot of thinking through to then update the process internally to make or to keep up with those changes. And I think that right there is where, for example, like, it's crazy how many times we'll have all these keywords, and then it gets sent to copywriters who then don't write for search specifically, and then it's just, I don't know, the communication between the different departments, and like, obviously whenever you're writing a search ad, there are things that you want in there, like what call to action do you want them to do? The big thing is having the theme of that ad group or the keywords that you're going after within the ad copy. I mean, there's just a lot of things that you need to know on the back end that isn't taught or I guess brought down in the agency overall, and it's like there's just a huge disconnect, which then takes time, which then can't get things to market as fast, which then you can't keep up with that day-to-day change or that constant change. It's almost like overwhelming, and
Right.
let's keep doing it how we've been doing it.
Which is why, like, for bigger agencies, you know, some of the old school guys who are running these, you know, they're really old. I mean, old. They're like in their 70s. But, you know, run these big agencies, but the problem is they don't want to learn this stuff.
Yep.
They don't care. They just want to hire somebody like you and me to try and take it over for them, you know, and get the job done. But obviously, like you said, communication falls through the cracks because everybody else is on a different page. You're just kind of off in no man's land. But honestly, that's why I think like agencies like us are really going to take over here in like the next 5 to 10 years, maybe even sooner. Because I know at least for Arizona, like we could easily dominate the state in digital since there's just a lack of knowledge here. That's why I've been kind of focusing more on California, New York, because those guys know what they're doing. They do it really well, but they're all a bunch of young agencies. As in, I don't mean like young, like everybody's like 18 years old. Like, it's just young thinking.
Yeah.
So it's like new generation, new way of thinking. How do we market for the digital age, the new age that we're in now? Not what we did and what has worked in the past, but taking risk and testing for the future. So I think, honestly, like younger CEOs, like, you know, you and me, and our agencies and what we're doing are actually really going to prove to be more beneficial since they're getting the same level of expertise all the way from the top down.
Yeah. And I think that's where there's a huge barrier right now is there are younger agencies, people that are younger running the digital stuff, that if you get in a room with a CEO or an executive team of a company that's doing a couple billion a year, it's just, oh, you're too young, you don't know what you're doing. And then I think it is a matter of just growing up in a five-year window to where all of a sudden the people that are running these that have learned from the bigger traditional agencies on where there's opportunity to do better, now they're out doing their own. Now it's just a matter of just growing up and then learning the business side of things. And that's been the hardest thing, or the biggest struggle in launching this isn't so much the talking and doing it. It's been the how do I price it out, and then invoicing and accounting and running the business side of things. And that's as the young agencies grow up, it'll eventually get to where they'll be in the spotlight, because the older agencies are just hiring people, but it's at the same time they don't know how the platforms work or how to execute, so it's like they just speak to it but then don't know how to communicate based off of how to actually leverage or use the platforms. And so there's a big thing of just people leaving, starting their own, and now it's just, it'll be cool, because was in a meeting yesterday, and one of the decks was print spend versus social media spend, and still 2018, it's still social media is just under print. It's projected to change this next year, but it absolutely amazes me that there's still more money being spent on print advertising than social media marketing, especially whenever you take into account like we've done some postcard stuff where it's literally $2-3 to send out one postcard, and I'm like, dude, for an extra $2, you can reach 1,000 people on a social media feed that's actually engaged, going through it, rather than sending this $3 postcard.
Right away.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, right. Those mailers.
I mean, but
even when you get the mailer, like, what's the first thing I do? I go on my phone.
You see, well,
exactly.
And I look for them on Google, and I'm like, I'm gonna call them now and get this deal. Like, thanks for the coupon and everything. All you're doing is just kind of selling yourself short. You could like save that money and just put it on Google, or it would have gone anyways.
Yeah. Because like I know too, we worked with one where they wanted a like official invitation thing where it was gonna be in an envelope. Like how many envelope things? Like I don't look at them really. I'll just look at who it's from, like, nope, don't care. Like, I don't care. I don't open it to see what's in it.
Right.
Like, if I don't know the company or it doesn't look like something I want to read in it,
Yeah, it's not worth the paper cut.
It gets, or if I feel something hard in there, like a fake credit card, I'm like, no, I don't want a new one.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, even take the aspect of what you're doing. Like, most people don't sit down and enjoy going through their mail. So it's like, why try and reach someone when they're not in their happy place? Most people like seeing what their friends and family are doing on social media. So why not reallocate that money to social when they're actually consuming and in a happy mind frame, more inclined to actually buy or purchase than
True.
Not like...
It depends on the demographic too, because I had a weird, interesting client with a retirement home. Yeah, in that case, it worked great. Like, I actually sent it to the old people. I'm like, all right, everybody who's getting a social security check within this radius, we're going to mail to.
See that? Yeah, that's smart.
Then,
I mean, that's really looking at the demographics of who, or the audience that you're trying to reach and knowing how they consume. But,
majority, though, went to digital, though, because, who's putting their parents in the homes?
Yeah, exactly.
What parent is just like, I need to get in here now.
Yeah, most of them don't really want to go. So I was also targeting a lot of the younger generation, like who's going to be putting their parents like in the homes. A little sad. I swear to God, if I ever have kids and they try to put me in a home.
I think that whole industry is going to be completely changed by the time we get to that age, just because technology is going to be a little bit better, and I don't know, just people aren't going to want to stay in a home, so it's going to be, I don't know, there's going to be ways that we're going to be able to travel and do a bunch of active things somehow.
Or even just robot helpers.
Yeah.
Is it, I think it's out now, the one,
Oh yeah, the Roomba.
not Roomba, no.
I love that thing.
Is it the Roomba?
Was it MIT? They had the dog
called something
one.
else.
Oh, I've seen those.
But they have a new, I don't know if it's new, but a different one now that when I saw the video, it was coming out in like next 6 months, like to sell. And it can open doors and stuff and like grab things. So the article's talking, like it's probably going to be mostly businesses that would ever get this because it's so expensive right now. But like it literally have that right now.
Yeah.
Where you could have that thing do stuff for you if you could afford it.
And man, we're gonna be able to do so many like cooler things once it happened. Like everyone's worried about like, oh, it's gonna take jobs, but it's like, for example, going through monthly reporting. My God, it takes. There's one client that we have that it literally takes, a good 40 hours to go through everything, and all it is going through and okay, this minus this is how much traffic increased. Just going through it, and it's like artificial intelligence can quickly do that. I can't wait till it's to that point so I can take those 40 hours and instead of pulling data, go, how can we use the insights in the data to then adjust our strategy and do better?
Right. It won't lose any jobs. In fact, it'll create them because even though you have the software, you still need somebody who understands it.
and I love saying this because it's everyone talks about, well, it's going to take jobs, but it's like the Industrial Revolution. It's not like there are less jobs now after we automated making shoes and assembling things. All it does is creates more opportunity to mass produce, which then you can start your own company or whatever it may be. Like the cost of creating is now cheaper, so now more people can actually become business owners and da-da-da. But I don't know, people always look at the negative side of things, and it's crazy because you don't know what jobs aren't even created from artificial intelligence because we're not there. And it's like, sure, we may lose 1 million jobs, but we're going to get 3 million. And the million that we're losing is probably a $15, $20 an hour job, where all these that are created are $20, $30 an hour jobs. So it's like, just creates more opportunity.
Right, kind of raise the center cost.
Yeah.
Or, at least the, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like, elevate us as a
society.
Yeah, rather than everybody working at a coal mine.
Yeah. The biggest argument is, well, they don't know how to do it, blah, 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 but it's not like anything, like the internet.
They need teachers.
Exactly.
Oh, great.
Exactly.
Well, school, I don't even want to get there in school, like how much of a moneymaker those guys are.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I can't wait to see how that industry changes, because it's like, education is still, it's super powerful. You need to have, but the way in which, like, how much you have to pay, and it's like someone just speaking information to you when it's like YouTube and everything like that, like.
Well, and some of them too, like I had a teacher who pretty much just took what was sent to him from the book company.
Yeah.
And then like.
Copy paste, yeah.
No, I liked him, cool guy, but it's PowerPoint, so it was like, don't need to know this one, don't need to know this one. He didn't even like cut out the one.
like,
that's not even teaching.
Took it. He's like, all right, you're gonna need to know this one, don't need to know this one, don't need to know this one.
See, that's not even teaching. And so,
Right.
these guys are probably tired of hearing it, but it's like, dude, I built an entire sprinkler system at my house using YouTube, and it's like, once you start doing stuff like that, it's like, wait, why do I need to pay $40,000 to learn this stuff when I can learn it? I don't know. I'm just interested to see how the whole education system is going to change, because it's not as ROI positive as it used to be, just because more people have degrees, but it's education is still big, and I think it's just a different way in which it's delivered or whatever it may be, but I'm excited to see how it is.
It's definitely changed. It at least started to be between either some places just being free, or like Harvard and I think it's Harvard and MIT and stuff, where they you could take the course and get a certificate that you did it.
Yeah.
Now, you have to pay like $100 or something to get that certificate, but you could take stuff there, whereas before it was like a big hassle. No one knew what really went on.
Yeah. And how many times have you guys heard, got a degree, but I'm not even doing something that's in line with that? So at that point, it's like, you just paid a bunch of money just to have a piece of paper that said you could get through 4 years of it, which, that's ultimately what it is. It's cool, you didn't give up in 4 years, but it's like, I think there's a better way that the goal is to make people smarter so that they can do bigger and better things to make more money. And I think how it's carried out now isn't achieving that. It's just...
Well, or even making it easier to switch between things, where it's like, well, I'm doing this now because I'm 3 years in and I'm not spending another $30,000.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, my education definitely wasn't cheap, and I feel
none is.
Yeah, everything I've really learned to really propel me into this business now that I'm starting is all been self-taught. I went on YouTube, I learned from people, I looked up everything I could, I read books for once in my life.
Audiobooks, that's the way to go.
No, doing all that, so everything you can learn online and teach yourself, and that's my favorite alternative to education is trial by fire. So anybody I work with now, if mentored a couple interns and like that, I'm like, here you go, do it. I want to see you try to figure it out on your own for the first at least day or so, and just see how they do, and then when they're kind of crying in the corner, you're like, I don't understand. Then I come in with the tools and actually, help them along the way and stuff. But they learn so much just trying to figure it out on their own, and just barely do any hand holding, and really just letting them do the research and just give them the tools where to find the information. Don't just tell them what to do. I think it's a lot of issues too with agencies nowadays. They're hiring people and telling them what to do, rather than hiring smart people who already know what they're doing, and then just let them do what they know how to do best.
Yeah.
And then in order to get people who have that experience of doers, rather than just somebody who thinks they know what they're doing, who's actually done it, that experience goes so much further than just somebody who was in school. When we were working, at our last job, we went through how many thousands of accounts and clients who spend millions of dollars, just going through all these, different people, and every one of them was completely different. So crazy. Some were just off the wall crazy, what people were trying to do and trying to make it work. And now we feel like we're prepared for anything, so we can handle any business.
Yeah. No, as much as, or as many people that talk down upon it, it's the greatest thing that I've gone through is working at Ravana, because it's there's nothing better than sending out that blanket approval and they just approve, other than changing budgets. But that's how I learned. I was like, cool, I got approval, you're not getting on the phone, we'll just do this retargeting and do this, and just learning by trial and error. But also the selling aspect, that it's funny looking back. See, I started working there in 12. But yeah, the economy was just barely getting a little bit better, but trying to cold call and sell digital advertising was tough. But it taught you persistence and how to identify problems and bring solutions. And yeah, I liked Well, now I look back and like Ravana a lot, but at the time it's like, God, man.
There's other things we won't talk about. It
Yeah.
could be like the most wonderful place on earth. You know, they just need to change a few things.
Yeah.
But the what you learn there is honestly like the golden ticket. That's what you really take from that place. You know, like I said, it was trial by fire. Nobody trained us. Nobody did it. Nobody told us what to do. So we just kind of got in there, and you got your hands dirty, and look what happened. Look where we are now.
Sat with a few people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm like, who did I sit with? Like,
Honestly, like in general, you could just sit with a few people. I remember doing that, and I'm like, all right.
I remember I sat with you, Eric.
And you loved it.
I did, and I learned a few things from you. See, like, you have to get lucky, though, you know. Find a few good people.
Yeah. So, we gotta wrap up here soon, but one thing I always like to hear is, like, talk to more and more people in the marketing industry, talk to creative, talk to analytics and all this. Everyone has their own thing that it's like, if everyone just did this, everyone would just be that much better at what the performance would be that much better, whether it's how you retarget, how you do, like, what is the one thing that you come across all the time that's just like, do this, whether it is actually doing like RLSA that no one ever does, or if it's tracking, like, what is the one thing that you see in your audits that's like, dude, world, come on, do this?
It's more like a less technical thing and more of like a general idea, as into like out to every business owner out there and every client who's possibly going to hire an agency like us. Just keep an open mind and be patient. Because, you know, data, it takes time to actually collect and to get some real insights. But when people tend to jump the gun or like want an answer right away, it tends to fail before it ever like really gets off the ground.
Yeah, no, I love that, because it's always, especially whenever you work with someone new, that is new and digital from a business, it's always like the third day in, why am I not making $1 million? Or
Yeah, why am I not making money?
Sure, we have all this, yeah, we have all this data, but it still takes time. One, it's like it takes 2 weeks to get enough data back to get an idea of what is actually working. Then you start trimming off the fat and optimizing, and it's like, yeah, it takes a good, if you're just starting out, a good month, 2 months to get enough data, optimize, and start to where you're like breaking even. And plus, if you're working with a new agency, you're learning them, they're learning you, so it's a brand new relationship. So it's a lot of learning each other and initial findings of what your audience is doing that first month, and it's almost like expect zero ROI, zero return, because it's learning. I mean, education costs money. It's learning, but once you start learning and have that patience and go, okay, well, this is how we can do better, you get closer to finding that ROI, and then eventually, month 2, 3, 4, you find it, and then you start growing it and scaling it, and it's having that patience.
Exactly. And then I guess answering your other question from a technical standpoint, I wish everybody would, like at least in our industry, like implement conversion tracking immediately. Do it correctly. That way it just makes that conversation so much easier when it sells itself. When you know what you're doing and it's actually bringing in some good conversions, you can show that you're growing, that you're starting from day one, not that, oh, we got X amount of clicks and impressions and everything. I'm like, all right, well, you know, the billboard got X amount of eyeballs on it, you know, so it's like kind of telling the same story. We just need to not tell the same story that's been told for generations now. Like, we need to tell a new story.
This is how many eyeballs you got, but more so this is how many eyeballs that turn into sales, or having more conversation around someone's bottom line and revenue rather than here's how many eyeballs you got.
Yep.
Yeah, so many people looked at it. But once you get this installed on your website, we can tell you how many you actually bought from you.
Yeah.
I just roll it in my packages. I'm like, it's a must have. I'm like, I won't even work with you if you're not gonna let me track anything.
Yeah. Yep. No, it makes sense. Bake it in, and then it's. We talked about this, like bake it in, and then if they already have it set up, give them a discount, and it's makes it look better because it's a discount. But yeah, bake it in that way. It's because that's
not upcharging someone and like, why am I paying more?
It'll just help you down the road, have a easier conversation when you show them like.
It's just not wasting anyone's time, because you're gonna just have more meaningful conversations rather than just
like,
you got 1,000
sales?
clicks.
Here's your sales.
Yeah, exactly.
So much easier to have that conversation.
Exactly. Sweet, man. Well, do you have a URL at all, or do you have a domain?
Yeah, no, it's definitely trying to do a hard launch by like next week to get fully up and running. But you can still visit it now. It's just a splash page. You can still contact me off of it. It's WOAdigital.com. So WOA Digital, which stands for Work of Art, Digital Marketing, and Graphic Design. It's the full name.
I like it.
Yeah, because we treat every campaign as a work of art.
I like it.
We only create masterpieces.
I like
I'm still
it a lot.
coming up with more slogans, so I'm like trying to see which one sounds better.
This is the perfect opportunity to just kind of say it, hear it.
Yeah, here, take a vote. Let me know which one you like.
Any